Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guest, tonight I am going to introduce you to me, Cindy Harley, or as I was officially named back on November 17th, 1962, Cynthia Barnon. Oh, and I'll save you the math, I'm 54. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. I discovered that quote over 16 years ago, and when I read it, the words seemed to leap off the page at me because I was at a crossroads in my life. And at the time, those words gave me hope. Hope that I could change my circumstances as long as I did something, took some type of action. So I will come back to that in a little bit, but for right now I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and share how those words helped to shape who I am today. I grew up the middle child in a family of 3 girls, and I was painfully shy, an introvert by nature. In fact, one of my earliest recollections is a time when I was 5 years old, and I really believe this sort of contributed to my shyness. My aunt and uncle had invited us to their friend's house. Well, my older sister and I were very excited to learn there were going to be 2 little girls about the same age as us to play with. So we went, we had a wonderful time until the end of the evening. I remember standing on the lower level of this house, looking up at the second level where the 2 little girls were looking down at us. I was standing with my family, and all of a sudden my mother said, "Okay, it's time to leave. Say goodbye." Well, just then, I remembered a line I heard in The Little Rascals earlier that day. I looked up at the 2 girls and I said, "So long, suckers." Well, you could have heard a pin drop. Except for when my mother gasped, "Cynthia, that was not very nice. Say you're sorry." I felt like a wilting flower. My face turned beet red. And then there was the ride home. I got in the back seat of my dad's car, sitting in between my aunt and uncle, and no one spoke. It was dead silence. Now, it probably had something to do with the fact that it was late and everyone was tired, but to me, in that 5-year-old mind, all I could think was everyone was so mad at me and disappointed with me. But fortunately, as I grew older, my shyness started to wear off, but it was because I pushed myself, like signing up for speech class my freshman year of high school. And then I landed a full-time job right out of college as a territory manager for a major cosmetic company. This job really pushed me outside of my comfort zone because I had to give sales presentations at the age of 22 in front of business executives and business owners. I was also required to attend national sales conventions where you were expected to be very social. One of my favorite memories was a time that I attended a convention, and I remember walking into this, attending the convention where I met Andie MacDowell, the actress and spokesmodel for L'Oreal. I remember walking into the grand ballroom of this hotel, and there was Andie standing in the corner, and no one was speaking to her. So I worked up my nerve, went up, introduced myself, and asked if I could get my picture taken with her. Well, she was very kind, and she agreed. And it was funny, as I was walking away, I looked over my shoulder, and suddenly there was a line of people waiting to meet Andie after me. Now, getting back to the quote and that crossroads in my life. At the time, I had a good husband, 2 beautiful, healthy children, successful career, and my dream house, but I was not happy. And those words gave me hope and pushed me to do something to make a change. So I devised a plan. I convinced my husband to put our house up for sale and downsize into a smaller home. Within 2 years, I was able to quit my job and stay at home with my kids, something I'd always wanted to do. So today, I'm at another crossroads in the process of changing jobs, but I know that I will find exactly what I want, because whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Toastmaster?